Maybe we have another hand from the Sheetlis Band. Doctor, you've done a wonderful job. Wonderful job. Well, I have to say, as I was preparing for this, I wasn't sure what the crowd would be. I didn't know what jokes I could tell and what I could say, and Kim said, well, just take the vibe of the crowd. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'll tell you. To start off, you may notice I'm dressed in dark clothing. I thought this was Kim's funeral. I didn't really understand what was going on. That's why I showed up, is that I thought I should pay my respects. And because I saw the sign here and I was a little bit worried. But no, I'm very happy to be here to honor Mr. Kim Wade. Now, she mentioned, Dr. Span mentioned that I am white. And as Kim calls me, and this is not a joke, calls me Pasta White. Pasta White. He says that I look like what rice would look like if it lost its tan. And I find that a little bit offensive. But like I said, in the bio, I have learned a lot about African American culture as being the producer for over a decade. From 4 to 6 every weekday, I'm sitting across the console from Mr. Wade, and I get to hear him on the air and off the air. And that's where you really, really learn some things. And some of these things I learned on the air. For instance, 10 years ago, I didn't know what high yellow means. No idea. Put your foot in it. Never heard put your foot in it. Kim talked about a woman who made a delicious casserole and she put her foot in it. That didn't sound good. He taught me about the street committee. I didn't know there was a street committee.
Malcolm's part of the street committee.
He is part of it. I didn't know what it meant to have snow on your arm. Now I know. I have been educated. And he's going to say, I bet later, that as producer, because he says this on the air all the time, that I drink all the time and I'm a drunk and all of these things. And I'm not. But if you were his producer, would you blame me? No. Not at all. Not at all. And the other thing he ribs me about on the show is the fact that I drive a Prius. He talks about this on air, me being drunk and me driving a Prius, saying that I have my nose in the air, and I tell him that I drive a Prius, I bought a Prius, not to save the earth. To me, the earth is just dirt. I think of it as dirt. No, I did it for the miles per gallon, and that's what matters. Now, he lets me have that, but what does he drive? Often, a Volkswagen Bug, which is the cutest car ever manufactured by Nazis. Now, moving on to our first roaster. Now, Leland Socrates Garrett. I've heard the name Sock a lot as the producer, but I wasn't exactly sure if I should unload some good insults on him, as I'm going to do to David L. Archie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce Leland Garrett with just some of the information about him. He is the founder and CEO of 8 corporations. He has served on numerous boards, including 100 Black Men of Jackson, United Way of Jackson, and the Metro Jackson Chamber of Commerce. He is also president of the Southeastern African American Publishers Association, consisting of 23 newspapers within 15 states. If you would help me welcome Leland Socrates Garrett.
Good evening. I knew that this was a bad idea. And I told Kim, I said, this is a bad idea for you to invite me out here to roast you. I said, I'm not sure you really want to do that. But he's a good guy and he likes to take his chances, so he said, bring it on. Now, many of you know me by Kim's description of a set-aside Negro. where he got that from, how he coined that phrase, it's just business. That's all it really is. But anyway, we're going to have some fun with Kim this evening. But before I do, a few things I need to get in order. Just clean up some housekeeping stuff. Now, Kim, Kamala Harris sends her regrets that she cannot be here for you tonight. She said for me to tell you how much she enjoyed y'all's time together at Camp David. She sent you your cap that you so proudly wore at the gala. And I wanted to make sure I got it to you. This is the cap.
What happens in Camp David stays in Camp David. I might be doing this for the nighttime.
Cam Wade, a guy that I have known for quite some time. One of the things I admire about him most is that he doesn't have sense enough to be afraid of anything. And sometimes I ask him, how did you get like that? How did you come to that point in time? But anyway, that's Kim. Now, his famous sounding of the alarm that the gun and knife show in Jackson is about to begin at 5:30. Run, 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 save yourself. That's the only traffic jam we have leaving Jackson. Now you see, Jackson does have a crime problem. No doubt about it. But the problem began when Kim was chairman of the parole board. And all of the people that he paroled, their children now are committing the crimes. But Kim understood that what was going to happen, because he knew one day he was going to run for mayor of Jackson, and he needed a base. So the other day, Kim was spotted down at the border, looking for parolees down there that he could bring back to Jackson. Now, his mantle of radio strongman, I admire, he always makes fun of my voice on the radio. But I always admired his voice, radio strongman. And I did a little research. I said, well, I wonder how did he get to be radio strongman? How did he get a voice like that? And I learned that it came because of the many hours that he spent on the corners yelling and selling the final call. So now I know if I want to develop my voice that I need to get out there and exercise it. Now, Kim knows how to hide out amongst people that don't like him. He was taught how to do this because for many years he was an African American. Only lately to discover through DNA and 23andMe that he is European. So his toughest decision today is is going to decide who is going to pay for all of those years he lived with a wrong identity. Kim may be the perfect candidate for mayor of Jackson because he has no allegiance to any group and will exact punishment on all those that refuse to kiss the ring. His story is a lot like the rest of our heroes that encountered a burning bush or a whip or a whale's belly before seeing the light. Ladies and gentlemen, help me salute and Kim Wade, a gentleman that will lead us all to relocation camps.
Thank you so much. David L. Archie. David L. Okay. David L. Community activist, former talk show host, former Hinds County supervisor, member of the ACLU, NAACP, member of the Federation Democratic Women, and an open-minded, optimistic Democrat. Now, when I think of Mr. Rogers, the artist, Bob Ross, Reading Rainbows, LeVar Burton, I think of quiet dignity. I don't think of quiet dignity with David L. Archie. Now, David is a trailblazer, though, and he won't brag about this, but he is the first African-American man and a Hinds County supervisor to be locked in a plexiglass box. I've seen that on TV. David has two voices, and I don't know if you know about this. He has a very distinguished, quiet voice. And when he comes in the studio, he'll start off very quiet. Glad to be here today, and I just want to thank everybody. And then somebody says the wrong thing, and he says, "You low-down, dirty white people." David L. Archie, come on up here.
David L. Archie! Thank you, man. Good evening. Now, Kim is wrong for this. And whoever called me, text me, email me, and telling me, he said, look, we're going to have a little event out in Brandon. Unlike Kennedy Stokes, I can still come to Brandon. And I can still go to Madison. And I said, but now when I leave there, knowing Kim, he'll have Flowood Police, Wayne County Sheriff Department, everybody waiting on me when I leave here. So Kim, if I get arrested, I want you to know, I expect for everybody in here to come and rescue me, because the only way that I agreed to this is that y'all would do it. Y'all would come out and say, free Archie, free Archie. But let me just say a few things here. So, when I first met Kim, he was close to getting kicked out of the radio station, the other radio station. What was the name of that station, Kim? WJNT?
Yeah, WJNT. Well, we knew each other, but I went in there. I was over on at 107.5 of WYAB or JMI, somewhere. Man, I can't remember all this stuff. But anyway, so as I go into the studio, they want to interview me about civil rights and want to talk to me about Medgar Evers and want to talk to me about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And so one of the guys told me, he said, you know what?
the guy over there at that other radio station, that conservative radio station, which is in the same building. No, a lot of folks don't know that they own the black stations, the white stations, the conservative stations, the poor folk stations, the rich stations, all the stations. There's a guy over there named Kim Wade. You need to go over there and meet him. I said, why do I need to meet him? Because Kim is all the way to this side of things, and you are all the way to that side of things. And so I tiptoed on down through there and able to get over there and meet Kim. And when he came out there, I think at that time, Frank Melton was doing a lot of stuff around town. And he started rambling off about Frank Melton, what he was doing and what he wasn't doing and how he was doing it. And I just asked him, I said, well, Kim, if you want to change things, maybe you should go out there and do some of the things that Frank Melton is doing. He said, no, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, which is inside of this radio station, because I can say things inside of this radio station that you black folks and you Negroes don't appreciate. And I'm looking at this guy and saying, he's black, Mexican, blue, or what? I'm trying to fill out his, race card here. And so I told him, I said, look, brother, I said, I read a lot of history and, I know a few things about history. And one thing that I know in America, folks that look like me, that's been named legally 4 or 5 different things like Negroes, colored folks, black folks, African American, and whatever else folks want to call black folks. And I said, now, I'm not going to let you sit here and talk about folks that look like me. He said, well, what I tell you can do is, I'm going to invite you to this radio show, and I'm going to talk about them Negroes on the radio show, and you can say your piece. And that's how we came up with low down and dirty white folks. So every now and then, he have to remind me. And one time we got into an argument, and Kim was saying, when he introduced me, he said, David L. Archie, low down and dirty white folks. I said, Kim, you got to quit selling that message to the conservatives and Republicans and white folks of this state. I said, now, you do know, I say, man, I just can't stand no low down and dirty white folks. But bruh, have you ever seen one of them low down and dirty Negro? Kim said, I see them all the time. And so that's how we ended up, and I've used that term, low down and dirty white folks, and low down and dirty Negroes. And sometimes I want to know who's the better one. And I found out neither. If you're low down and dirty, I don't care who you are, where you are, what you look like, what your age is, you are just that. And so when I started visiting the Kim Wade show and Kim Wade, people would ask me, look, I'm probably the only open-minded, optimistic Democrat in the state of Mississippi. What I mean about that is that I don't care what party, what race, I don't care how tall you are. You can be that tall, if you're that tall, or you can be, that tall. But the bottom line is, I think that in this day and time, and especially in Jackson, Mississippi, which my friend has decided to run for mayor, and he wanted to know where I stood. And I said, now, Kim, how you gonna sell to the black folks in the African American neighborhood where they're breaking in your houses, stealing your cars, walking up, sleeping on your porch, I said, now Kim, how are you going to convince those people to vote for you? He said, that's what I got you for. I'm like, man, what are you talking about? He said, man, look, I'm going to sign up and I'm going straight to the general election. And then I expect for all of my friends, either Republicans or Democrats, to come my way. I said, well, Kim, I tell you what. I hope that you offer yourself to run for mayor. There are some things that Kim and I disagree on. There's a lot of things that we agree upon. Let me tell you what we agree upon. We agree upon that perhaps we got the worst mayor in the country. We agree upon that if you're not concerned about the people and you always concerned. See, I've watched him. The events that he's had when the Tea Party was, David, you come down, look, I would go down and hang out around that tree or over near that car and I'll just be watching and paying close attention, but I was there. I knew what was going on. And I knew that Kim would fight for a change. And we need that change in Jackson, Mississippi. Look, we need that change. We need that for this state to understand there are decent people that live in Jackson, Mississippi. Not all, right? Just today, we was able to find somebody guilty that had committed a crime in Hinds County that was bothering a lot of people, and that was William Edwards Polo. And so what I'm saying is this: we got to have somebody to stay up all night long. If Kim is elected, ride with Kim. Amen. Sleep with one eye open to know what's going on in Verdon Addition, Shady Oaks, Brown Bottoms, the South Bottom, West Jackson, places that some of y'all don't even know exist. Some of those areas are causing a lot of problems. And when we go in, I know Kim, he's going to have a gun on this side because he's going, what's the name of that shooting place they have on the radio? Two Gun Time. Yeah, that's that place. He's going to have a gun here, he's going to have a gun here, and he's going to be strapped down here in Jacktown. Y'all hear it all the time, right? And so, Kim, and this is my last piece. I talked to a committed Democrat a few minutes ago. We was at the courthouse, and I told him that I was on my way to Brandon to help roast Kim Wade. And so there's a lot of negative things that I can say about an individual, but when a man get up, put his pants on, speak his piece, believe in what he believes in, I can support that. But it's that joker that go around and play games with everybody. Like, I'm this way when I'm with the Democrats. I'm that way when I'm with the Republicans. When I'm with the independents, I'm this way and that way. I've only known for this guy to be one way. And I can respect that. Down at Peaches Restaurant. Peaches. Anybody know anything about Peaches? All right, this is a little place downtown on Ferris Street. So Kim and I had decided to do a TV talk show. And it was on, what, broadcasting, private, cable or something. I can't remember what it was. I've done so much stuff. What was it, Kim? Comcast, some kind of station. Was getting a lot of pretty nice and good views and everything. And so we would go down and we'd set up right here in front of Peaches Cafe, and there would be Negroes coming from everywhere just to see this guy named Kim Wade. And they would come in and they would just, and they'll look at me. I'll be on this side of the table here. Look at me. there and they'll look at Kim, and they all just, they look and they want to see, who is this guy that's supposed to be black? And the way that he talked, he never passed out any bean pies. Have Kim ever given any of y'all bean pies? I saw some. Listen, he'd sit on the corner, waving his hand, and swear down he was down with Farrakhan. And all of a sudden, he decided to take those bean pies and throw them in Farrakhan. I think y'all
Thank you, Dave. One more hand for David. Yeah. All right. Now, I'm going to take just a couple of minutes to do my own little roast of Mr. Wade. There are a lot of people that call him a bigot, a racist, a misogynist. And I assure you, a misogynist, he doesn't know the meaning of the word. He doesn't know the meaning of the word because he's dumb. Kim Wade, I got a front row seat, he's dumb. I just got to tell you, I made a list over the last couple of years of the things that he says incorrectly. These are words, I don't know where he gets these words. I'm going to share just a few of them. See if you've ever heard this. Inculcated. Inculcated, and I made sure I wrote it down correctly. Inoculated. That's inoculated. In Kim's speech. Ever want to have a bowl of romaine noodles? Kim can make you some romaine noodles. Instead of being enthusiastic, he's enthusiastic. And it's not just that, he has great phrases he picks up from history, like, when in Rome, you burn Roman candles. No. When in Rome, you burn, he would say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. He says, when in Rome, burn Roman candles. Which makes no sense. If you're in Rome and you're lighting fireworks off in the streets, again, I just sit there and I think, I don't understand what they're doing. He doesn't really know what the meaning method to the madness means. Because we'll have people come in, business owners, buy an interview on the show, and they'll be talking about something very sophisticated that they do, and they do it very well, and they'll give the steps, and he'll say, well, there's a method to the madness. And they say, well, there's not really any madness. I don't know what you're talking about. We have a very precise thing that we're doing. But he doesn't hear that because he's turned his back on them. He's on Facebook looking at reels. And then lastly, he's very sensitive to many different religions. And I was here for this. We were ending the interview, getting finished, and he was ready to wrap it up. And so he told the Jewish rabbi. This isn't a joke. He told a Jewish rabbi, all right, boss, get to the point where Jesus saves. Ask him when. I couldn't believe it. All right, our next roaster, Mr. Clay Edwards. Yeah. 43-year-old former citizen of Jackson, Mississippi, who went from owning and running nightclubs in the city to starting a social media platform known as Save Jackson. Can you give that a hand? Save Jackson. Bringing attention to blighted, abandoned properties and street-level crimes that weren't being reported by the news. The platform pivoted during the COVID when Clay turned the camera around at himself and began filming himself ranting about the injustices happening to our freedoms and civil rights by overzealous politicians such as Tate Reeves and Chokwe Lumumba. This led to Clay starting a podcast that turned into a one-day-a-week radio show, which, with the help of Kim Wade, expanded into 2 hours, 5 days a week, that now is the #1 morning drive time talk show in the state. Ladies and gentlemen, Clay Edwards.
Thank y'all very much. Way different doing this in front of people. Normally I just pretend there's a purple-haired Democrat across from me, and I just like fake chew them out. Like, you people. You know, occasionally Sean's there a couple days a week, but he doesn't actually have purple hair, much to most people's surprise when he shows up, unlike tonight. Look, a lot of roasting to be done, but I do want to tell Kim, thank you so much, Kim. Throughout the years, whether it's my radio career or when I first got into the nightclub business, friend Chip over here and Kim over here, for better or worse, I would not have had the success that I had doing that. I've gone back, and there was a lot of drugs and alcohol in between, but I think it was 2000. It would have been early 2000 or late 99, somewhere in there. Kim had his place, Jazzy's, down across from the Iron Horse Grill for a point of interest there. And me and Chip had a falling out like a lot of people do with Chip over time. You hang out with him enough, you're going to have a falling out, and I have inherited that trait myself. You hang out long enough, we will eventually have a falling out. But stumbled across Kim's place. I was like, well, there's this new bar. Let's go and talk to them, and convinced Kim to let us do a Thursday night college night, you know, kind of for the white college crowd, so to say, the Heinz crowd at the time. And man, we did that for a couple months, but I just remember we talked them into doing beer pitchers. I'm like, look, we got to do a draft beer special to get these kids in here. We can charge them whatever at the door, but we need to do quarter pitchers or dollar pitchers or something at the time. Bottomless. Well, he agreed to it, but one rookie mistake in the bar business that Kim had made was they used glass pitchers. And you can imagine how that goes when the old South Jackson crew rolled in. And South Jackson ain't changed much. It's kind of the color of the folks over there. They still like to raise hell and do a lot of fighting. They've added guns into the mix now. But it was a blood fest. It was a blood fest. I think that was our last night there at Jazzy's. But me and Kim remained friends for years. Somebody did tell me, there was a few years there where we didn't talk, and I've never asked him about this, but there was a time where somebody said, well, I'm pretty sure he called you the blue-eyed devil on the radio one time. He said, that blue-eyed devil opened up a bar down there in Byram, and they were convinced it was Kim, so for the sake of this story, it was Kim. I said, well, I do like to dance with the devil. I do have blue eyes, and I did open a bar in Byram, so you know what? It's me. I will fall on that sword. But fast forward 20 years, 25 years, 21 years, give or take. I get the show at WYAB, and I run into Kim there, and he's like, man, I didn't know that was you. And we get to talking and stuff, and we redevelop our friendship. And I texted him one day, I was like, man, let me buy you lunch, meet me down at Martin's for lunch. And I think he knew what I was dragging him down there for. I wanted to expand the show to more than one day and 1 hour. He vouched for me with Matt, told him he thought I had the chops to do it, and I've been trying my best to prove him right. And one of the other things he told me, if he did it, that I had to give that back, I had to pay it forward. So when the next person came up, try to make sure to give them extend the same favor to them that he did to me, and I have been trying to do that. And it's funny, I get called the white Kim Wade a lot. And, maybe it's for my knack of saying things to make people uncomfortable, but hell, I already thought he was the white Kim Wade. Kim's so white that he's not afraid to let the sun go down on his back in Rankin County. Kim's actually offended that Woodrow Wilson wasn't racist enough to get a street named after him in Jackson. Kim's so white he voted for Trump 3 times. He does CrossFit. I often joke about white people doing white people stuff. CrossFit, rucking, mountain biking, and jiu-jitsu for a long time. And Kim does at least 2 of those at any given time. Kim's so white he asked Jackson Water to bill him a little extra. Kim's so white he segregated himself in school. My personal favorite, Kim's so white, COVID couldn't kill him. He cooks his macaroni on top of the stove. He drives a Honda Ridgeline and a Volkswagen Bug. And last but not least, he picked Chick-fil-A's spicy chicken sandwich over Popeyes. Kim, thank you so much for everything. I truly appreciate it. Look out, we've got Socrates Garrett over here. And I did ask him, I said, we can roast the other roasters, right? He said, oh, yeah. I was like, all right. You know, look, forever, I thought Socrates' middle name was, in fact, set aside. Nobody's got to be more upset about Chockway's misfortunes than you. Peeping out the windows of the FBI coming down my road, or to quote Polo, coming down my road. Speaking of Polo, we got, you know, honestly, I probably wouldn't be doing radio at all if it wasn't for Polo extending a favor to me. So I'm a bit conflicted on his recent screw-ups and spending the rest of his life in prison, because he did help me, so I always like to acknowledge that. But he also turned his back on a lot of us and got in the pocket of whomever downtown, and we went from being friends to being a racist the very next day. But I always admired, I'd never heard of Malcolm Johnson or David Archie until I met Polo. And he was at the thick of their personal rivalry at that point. And I never knew who they were, but I looked up one day and I see a Facebook post from Malcolm over here. And it says, this, for the sake of conversation, this Sunday on my show, it's going to be an expose, tell-all about Clay Edwards. And I was like, what the hell? And I was new to this at the time. I wasn't used to being talked about publicly. You know, I was all nervous and stuff, but it was at that moment that I realized if you just don't watch it, you don't listen to it, it doesn't happen. But ever since that show, the black community has had a very fun pet name for me. It's racist. So thank you, Malcolm. Thank you very much for that. You don't want to hit anybody else before we get out of here tonight. Couldn't do this without mentioning Kingfish over here. Kingfish is the absolute most feared man in Jackson media. And if he wasn't scared of the camera, there probably wouldn't be a Clay Edwards, because he already had the platform and the people to do it, but not yet. I met with Kingfish. He's been a great influence. And it's nice to see him out in public doing stuff. When they said Kingfish was going to be on here, it's like, you know, they put your real name on the flyer. So of course he scratches it off and puts it on his website. But no, we've got Kingfish here. I appreciate everybody. Kim, if you win mayor of Jackson, I'm telling you now, publicly, I'm moving back to Jackson.
No, you're going to the 4 o'clock hour.
You're going to the 4 o'clock hour. I want to run the city of Jackson's social media. I think nobody's got the resume quite like.
Then you can run Save Jackson.
We'll just add the D, right? Save Jackson. Well, that's what we want to do with Kim, is we want to save Jackson. And if you look at all the other mayoral candidates, and I don't know all of them, I know the one that's mayor right now ain't the one. And I know this man up here, you may not like the way he says some things here and there. He may ruffle a couple feathers. He may have a job waiting for him in Rankin County, starting back up the goon squad if this don't work out. So we ain't got to worry about that, because he will be our next mayor, Kim Wade. Thank y'all.
Clay Edwards, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this way. All right. Well, I want to take just a second to say a couple of things again about Mr. Kim Wade. Again, I sit across from the sound console every day, Monday through Friday, with Kim. And people often ask me, is that an act? Is he acting? He's not acting. That's Kim Wade. What you hear on the radio is Kim Wade off the air, on the air. I've had advertisers before that Kim has visited to take advantage of what they're offering. And he will go after them and say, you did this wrong, you didn't do this right. And so I was like, oh, Kim, don't say that. No, they don't know what they're doing. So Kim giveth and Kim taketh away. But he is very, very genuine. Just a genuine guy and a heart of gold. Really is. And I enjoy my time. I've learned quite a bit. Our next roaster, James Hendricks. He grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He is forever an LSU Tiger. He graduated from MC, which is now MCU, and Mississippi College School of Law, and he operates a website you may have heard of, Jackson Jambalaya. Come on up here, Kingfish!
over you. I hate public speaking, and they stuck me with this gig, but okay. Anyway, you wanted roast, you're getting roasted tonight. It's not that long, it's only one page, but I should warn you before.
It's single space.
Single space too. And some words have more than one syllable. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, before I wrote this, it's like, let's go see some of the old Dean Martin roasts, so I cranked up Don Rickles and some of that stuff, so yeah, that's where we're going. All right. I just want to thank Kim Wade for inviting me to be here. He's been one of my very good friends for many years. I've always prided myself on having a diversity of friends. Black, white, Mexican, religion, class, I don't care. I've had friends among them all. But I must say, make no mistake, Kim, you're my favorite white friend. How white is Kim? He's so white, Rankin County deputies stay away from him. How white is Kim Wade? He'd never burn a cross on your yard, but he'd toast a marshmallow on it if he saw it burning. How white is Kim? He has Taylor Swift wallpaper on his phone. Now, I'm not saying he prefers white women, but if you're a sister, you better wear a blonde wig and some blue contacts to get his attention. A Stars and Bars bikini wouldn't hurt either. Probably would help. Oh yeah. Just remember, Kim, heritage, not hate. I see Socrates is here, but I don't smell his partner in crime, James Covington. My nose can usually pick him up. By the way, Kim, how many contracts did you have to promise Socrates to get him up there?
No comment.
No comment. And by the way, Kim, what's up with having this roast in Brandon? Yeah, what's
This
up
is
with
not
it?
Jackson.
No, it's not.
I'm shocked.
No.
My GPS is not working.
He is dumb. I thought you were running for mayor of Jackson. You think we'd have this in Jackson, right? You know where he wants to be mayor, but he moved out to Rankin just like everybody else did, right, Clay? I mean, Kim, what are you, candidate in exile, mayor in exile? Inquiring minds want to know. I can see the slogan now, elect Kim Wade, working for Jackson in Brandon. We've talked about white flight to death over the years, but damn home, I haven't seen this kind of white flight before. Running for mayor of Jackson while running from Mayor Jackson. Gotta love it. Next up, Kim Wade runs for Hinds County Supervisor in Biloxi. I mean, I'm sure the people here in Brandon appreciate your campaigning here, but last time I checked, Kim, the votes are in Jackson. By the way, Jackson is that way. I'm sure David L. Archie over here and Malcolm over here would be more than happy to show you where it is. Am I right? Okay. I do have one question, Kim. How do you campaign while doing the belt buckle crawl? Now, the crawl has gotten somewhat safer in Jackson as our potholes have turned into craters. So now you get on your belt buckle, you crawl, you get to the crater, you got some cover, then you get back out. Except there's one little problem. You might crawl into a belt buckle, crawl into a crater full of sewage.
No.
Yeah, remember we got 225 of those in the city, remember? So just saying. And one other piece of advice. Just remember when you're doing that belt buckle crawl, Kim, and you're out there, keep your butt down. Because we don't want Melvin and Snowball getting any ideas. I told you, did I not? Now, I just realized something. We're assuming he's actually campaigning. You are campaigning, right?
Absolutely.
Where are the yard signs? Oh, they're probably hidden next to Obama's long-form birth certificate.
They're on the back of the
Or
car.
did you put them next to your COVID mask? Or did you put your yard signs next to your COVID mask where you got that hidden too? I almost wore one of those tonight.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out which is lower, the number of votes Kim is going to get or the number of listeners he has. All kidding aside, all right, folks. You know, Kim might actually win. Seriously. Happened in Baton Rouge Saturday. Did y'all see what happened? Yes. Cool. white Republican, like Kim, knocks out a 2-term incumbent black Democrat mayor by 9 points, 9,000 votes, true story. And they've had a lot of the same problems Jackson has had over the last 8 years. Almost as bad a leadership. And it gets even better. He only spent $80,000 while she spent $1 million. And judging by your fundraising, Kim, you're not even going to get that.
Fit on the Lord.
So Kim, do you call your run for mayor the Great White Hope or the Great White Hype? Inquiring minds want to know. Well, thanks for having me tonight, as they needed someone to set a low bar for the roasters. Mission accomplished. Special thanks goes to the Jackson Gun and Knife Club for sponsoring this roast.
Want me to do it?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, hey, I don't even know why I'm here. I don't know any of y'all. And it's past my bedtime. I just bake cookies. When Sheila called me, and she gets me into more stuff. Y'all have friends like that? I watch Wheel of Fortune and go to bed, and whoever wins gets to go brush their teeth, and the other one's got to shut the house down. So I don't know what I'm doing out past my bedtime, but I am so happy to be here, and I am going to introduce. Like I said, I don't have anything funny to say. I'm just going to read these introductions, so y'all bear with me. I am about to introduce Ann Pruitt, who is the owner and broker of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ann Pruitt Realty. She's been a broker for the past 32 years, and during her tenure, she has owned 8 offices in Mississippi, including offices in Hernando, Ridgeland, Flowood, Lost Rabbit, Hattiesburg, Hurley, Ocean Springs, and Biloxi. She managed the FHA foreclosure account for the state of Mississippi and a portion of the Fannie Mae account with her firm. She has closed over 19,000 transactions. She has written numerous CE courses, trained over 5,000 realtors throughout Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. She has served as chairperson for the Mississippi Vietnam Veterans Wives Association and has 2 adult children, Ashley Jordan Costa of Jupiter, Florida, and Zach Jordan of Gluckstadt, Mississippi. She has 3 granddaughters and 1 grandson. She currently attends Pine Lake Church. And it is my understanding that we have a video, right?
Ann is in Belize right now.
Yeah, she is in Belize right now, but she has pre-recorded.
Hello, Brandon. I wish I was there at Kim Wade's roast in person, but instead, I'm on the sunny Caribbean Sea in Hopkins, Belize. But do you know what I have? Kim Wade's 6.0 plan to turn Jackson around. Let me get out of these Jackson cold weather clothes, and I'll be back with you in just a second for Kim's roast.
Thank you for having me at the roast tonight. Before we get started, I want to pause and take 1 minute to be very serious. A fan of Kim's, while I was writing the speech, sent me a text, and it said that Kim's favorite song was Take Me Back, Lord, by Andre Crouch. So if Kim is elected, I hope God takes him back to Jackson to do wonderful things for us. But without further ado, let's get busy with Kim's roast. Well, all the way from Hopkins, Belize, a place like Jackson, probably a third world city. It should become the sister city for Jackson. But let's talk about the man of the hour, Kim Wade, the big Kim Wade show. Kim doesn't just bring hot mic takes. He's bringing them straight to City Hall because Kim thinks with his mouth, he can solve it all. The Kim Wade Show, his claim to fame. Over 673 episodes he's cut with his mouth ranting over a topic. You know Kim's idea of balanced news? One side of a story and 5 rants to prove that he's right. But Kim is always right. If you don't believe him, just ask him. Kim, are you always right? Yep, he's always right. So then I heard Kim's running for mayor. So buckle up, folks, as I share with you the Kim Wade 6-point plan to turn Jackson around. 6-point plan, point number 1, marketing and tourism. Of course, Kim would start with marketing and tourism because of all of his years in the advertising and marketing business. So Kim's going to attract folks to Jackson, just like they do attract folks to Belize. Belize has got the Caribbean Sea. Jackson's got the Pearl River. Hey, same thing. No water, no roads, no trash pickup, but plenty of potholes. But he has a tourism plan. Embrace all this chaos. In fact, he's going to get new street signs with new names for the street signs that have been stolen. Here's his new sign list. Axel Bender Avenue, Blowout Boulevard, and Suspension Street, where you're always going to need a new suspension. He's going to combine all these streets together, and when you ride your car over them, he's going to call it the Crater Coaster Ride. It's going to be a substitute for a roller coaster. Not only is he going to have the Crater Coaster throughout Jackson, he's going to relocate the Jackson Zoo from West Jackson to just the other side of the Science Museum because he plans to put on an additional theme park, a Wizard of Oz park. You see, Kim wants to voice all three characters, the one with no heart, the one with no brain, and of course the one with no courage. Perfect fit. After his marketing and tourism, Kim's going to go on to real estate. As you know, I'm in real estate. Kim's been in real estate, but he's got a much bigger platform with his show. So he loves flipping. He loves for flippers to come in Jackson and flip houses. And then he does his flipping the narrative and flipping out. He gets so wound up on his show, he's pounding, he's spitting out his words. Things are coming back and forth. I want to call and see if we can get him replaced on Fox from Mark Levin, because I really believe he gets worked up more than Mark Levin. In fact, I'm going to have Huckabee send him a bottle of Relaxium. Maybe we should send him a case of Relaxium. Who knows? How are we going to get him to calm down? But his first big real estate venture is to put some gates around his house. And then the next thing, he's going to build a giant statue of himself for a memorial. But my friends say, well, it's not just that Kim's ranting about real estate, Ann. He's ranting about someone else. And I say, who? And he said, you. I said, Ian Pruitt? Kim Wade is ranting about Ian Pruitt? I haven't seen Kim Wade but one time in 10 years. And I certainly don't talk to him on a daily basis. What's he ranting about me? I said, well, I got it. He's my biggest fan. Kim is my biggest fan. You know, when somebody rants and raves about you for 10 years, it has to be domestic. That means he loves me. Quite the honor. I just smile when he gives me that free airtime. I'm smiling every day. Bless his heart. He's such a nice guy. As I said, I hadn't seen Kim in 10 years. And then, as fate would have it, it happened. Last year at the 2024 Diabetes Foundation Ball, I came in and was seated, unbeknown to me or Kim, we were seated right next to one another. Can you believe it? Talk about awkward. Well, here comes the photographer. They want to get pictures of everybody at the table. So Kim and I had a picture taken together right then and there. Hey, can y'all put up that picture? Keep it up, because I'm going to tell y'all this story. Kim has on his mask. Now, I want y'all to take a good look at this. It's not covering his nose. It's not covering his mouth. But he looks like one of those folks in COVID when they're in their car alone with their mask on. Wasn't doing any good. Doesn't cover up anything. But it's probably easier for Kim to kind of be in hiding like that since he's been in his own private safe sound booth like Joe Biden in the basement. Except Kim's been hiding away for 25 years. Listen, I asked Kim to dance. I mean, he could have even just done the Trump dance. But Kim couldn't even do the Trump dance. So then I figured it out. He is the cowardly lion. That's why he wants to build the Wizard of Oz theme park. Or maybe he's just a good politician. Kim, you're so nice to me. Thank you for all these years of being nice. Oh, but getting off my personal agenda and getting back onto Kim's plan. Plan number 3, energy. Now, I believe that Kim has got energy in the books. He has got to have a better plan than any other candidate. You see, Kim's energy plan is to lower the energy bills for every Jacksonian. Here's how he's going to do it. Simple. He's going to harness the hot air from his Kim Wade shows. Forget drill, baby, drill. Trump's got a new saying now. Spin it, Kim, spin it. You see, between his gas and hot air, Elon Musk has a new renewable supply of energy. Hot air, gas, and the smell of sulfur. Kim, you are a viable commodity after all. If elected, I know you will drive down the energy prices because you're an untapped, unrelentless, and inexhaustible supply of bullshit. Well, let's move on. Infrastructure. Kim's so good at spinning the narrative, his audience thinks that tornado warning sirens are just liberal propaganda. Kim's infrastructure solution is his own version of the new Doge. He's going to cut the cost. For the failing sirens, he wants to get a bullhorn in every neighborhood and one neighbor with instructions to scream into it, "Run for your life!" And fixing the water crisis? Well, Kim realizes there's $600 million already been allocated to fix the water. And the feds are on it. That's 150,000 residents at $4,000 per residence. But Jackson probably says it's still not enough. So Kim said, I've got it. We can just give them all a water bucket and tell them get their water out of the Pearl River. It's organic. Well, with that idea of infrastructure, let's move on to his health care plan. Kim's health care plan, I really like it. He wants to start by building a brand new mental health facility, therapy clinics, for those who may have the same condition that he has, which is, as you know, diarrhea of the mouth and constipation of the brain. Maybe after intense, and I am talking intensive therapy, Kim can make an intelligent comment every once in a while. Talking about education, he's got a plan for education. Jackson City Schools, he wants to fast track it. He wants to reduce the dropout rate, and here's how he's going to do it. No longer do the kids have to go to the 12th grade, they just have to go to the 6th. As long as they can spell success, S-U-C-C-E-S-S, he said they've got it. They've got success. You see, Kim is the real success story. He's the only person who knows how to do a lot of talk and still not educate anybody. Okay. I think I've roasted him good. What do y'all think? Well, here is what I want to say in closing. Kim, you've built an incredible platform, and you've earned a place in the heart of every conservative, including me. As Victor Lanoa, who's an Italian philosopher, said, dough rises when you give it a rest. So maybe it's just time that we give all the negativity of Jackson a rest. Because Jackson is probably like coal under pressure, just a lump of coal. But under pressure, it turns into a diamond. And with God first, Kim, when he takes you back, resilience, vision, and leadership, Jackson can shine again. So Kim, get busy, my friend. Got a lot of jobs to create, buildings to fill, downtown spaces are empty, new neighborhoods need to be built, old neighborhoods need to be revitalized, and we need to teach good morals. You see, with your leadership, you hold yourself accountable to God to lead the very best you can. And with our realtor motto, lead with skill, care, and diligence. Because this city needs brilliance. And maybe, just maybe, they need you, Kim. Kim's got a plan, so with everyone help me, raise your glasses, and let's give Kim a toast. With his big mouth and a plan, you got it, Kim. Cheers.
Nicely done, Ann. Nicely done. Okay, now my next roaster, I don't know him. And I don't want to talk about him because I don't end up on his show. I hear all these people got radio shows. It's you, Malcolm. You ready? Hold up. We got to tell them about you first. Yeah. Malcolm Johnson, a Clinton native, attended school in Clinton Public School District. So did I. What year were you there?
I can hear it good.
What year were you in Clinton?
97.
97, okay. So I'm old. We're not going to talk about the year I was there. Then he moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin to attend Marquette University. Soon after finding out that it was way too cold up there, he moved back down south. Once he moved back south, he was asked by the late Attorney Precious Martin to be his co-host on Friday night's Talk of the Town Raffoo Show, which was very conflicted after Attorney Martin passed. He remained there for the next 6 years, he said. Is that right? Being co-host to his wife then, Attorney Crystal Martin, now Judge Crystal Wise Martin, after leaving the show to venture out on his own, he started a weekly show, Telling It Like It Is, which lasted 5 years. Malcolm Johnson is known for breaking news to the Democratic community that others are afraid to break. You can often hear Malcolm Johnson sitting in his radio strongman Kim Wade, and even makes a call or two from the show during the week. Malcolm Johnson gives Kim Wade credit for teaching him how to run a successful radio program with high ratings. Malcolm is a proud father of one, a deacon in his church, loves people, black, white, Republican, Democrat. Malcolm Johnson says that he is proud to call you his friend, but he's got to lay that friendship down for a minute, because he's about to take care of some business. Y'all help me welcome Malcolm Johnson. You don't know.
Good evening, everyone. How y'all doing? Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was really excited about this, and then when that verdict come out that Polo was guilty, it touched me because Robert Davis was a friend of mine from our childhood days, so it kind of affected me in a different way. So I'm not as, y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna give you a drink before I come, because I was watching that trial and I was trying to, get up behind me. But anyway, Kim Wade is my friend. I said Kim Wade is my friend. And I want to do something that no one else has did tonight. I want everybody to stand up and give Kim Wade a big hand for taking the jump to want to even try and get that. I'm in charge now. See, but I'm on his show, he in charge, and I'm in charge now. I just want to say it takes courage to run for public office. It takes a lot of courage to sign that contract. Because when you sign that contract, Kingfish, all kind of crazy stuff started coming out. Socrates, you know how people start making up stuff and lying on it and coming up with all kind of stuff. So it takes a real man of courage, Kim, to sign that dotted line. I see our new corner, our new Hines County corner back there, old Jeremiah Howard. We got a white corner, so Kim, you won't be alone down there. He's our intern corner. He's a good guy. He was appointed last week by our board of supervisors, and I see him there. But Kim, wait, let me say this.
Tell him to put his hand up.
Huh?
Tell him to put his hand up.
Hey, Ray, stand up, boy.
Oh, okay.
That's Jeremiah Howard right there. He's a Pocahontas. But anyway, Kim, I met Kim, like David Archer was talking about Peaches Cafe. They was doing their radio show, and I think Obama come to town. Was that right, David? That's right. Obama come to town, and Kim Wade told Obama, "You ain't doing nothing. What have you done? Who are you?" And it was a mess down there. And those people wanted one Kim Wade out the back door. Down to Miss Peaches that day, there was so many people down there, and out of all the people in the world, Kim Wade, being from Chicago, living up there, I guess he understood a little bit more about Obama's history at the time, and he went after Obama, and David Archer could not get the people off of him. It was chaos. That's why I first met Kim Met. And shortly after then, I started calling this show and talking and speaking up. So one night, and I'm gonna have to go back before that, Chuck Wade Lamuma's father, the good Lamuma, not the bad one. The good one. The tall one that wore his pants up. He didn't have all that black paint in his hair and all that kind of stuff. Okay, he was having an event one night at Reverend PJ Church. Kenny Stokes were having this meeting because Chuck Wade
was getting ready to run for mayor, the daddy now. So we was in the back. Kenny Stokes told me, say, go out there and put all the white folks out. So I walked out there. I didn't see nobody white. I walked back in the back room and I said, they ain't none of you. They gone. So then I went back there. They say, Kim Wade got to leave before we started this meeting. I walked back there. I was looking for a white man. I went back in the church, in the back room. I said, he gone, brother. Kenny Stokes said, you sure? I said, yes, sir, little bro, he gone. He went to the door and looked. He pointed. He said, that's him right there. I said, Stokes, Kim Wade, a white man. He said, no, little bro, Kim Wade, black. And that was the first time I had ever laid my eyes on Kim Wade. And later that week was when I finally got a chance to see him at Miss Peaches. So that was a trip there now, y'all. This guy here was something else. So this is like, he had a Facebook page. And so I was going out there, everybody. Kingfish, Clay. You tried. I put Clay out of business in the black neighborhood, y'all. He came right through there. And so Kim Wade started attacking me. But there wasn't no picture on there. It was a Facebook page, but it didn't ever have a picture on there. I said, that can't be that guy. That can't be that guy. So as time went along, I think, you know how it goes. Y'all know how it goes. We kind of bumped into each other and we squared up, laughed, talked. He invited me on the show. So I'm Malcolm Johnson, I went. So we had a long talk, you know how radio goes. He said, man, you're going to get the hell soon out of you. I said, what you mean? I said, none of those people I'm talking about got no money. They can't get lower. He said, no, bro. He said, man, you playing a dangerous game. You remember that kid? He said, you playing a dangerous game. About a week later, I got a lawsuit. I got a lawsuit. Matter of fact, the guy that sued me, I took his wife to dinner the next Monday and gave her all the business. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? I gave her the woman address, the woman's sister address, and when she got through with him, guess what, Kim? He was trying to clean me out. We was cleaning each other out. Y'all catch on that tomorrow. But listen, so that's really how me and Kim Wade really bonded. He really tried to help me in a time where I was wild. I was so wild, y'all. I could just walk in the store and people would just get around me and just wanted me to talk about what was going on in the community. And I remember what Kim Wade said. He said that personal and politics is not the same. And I got control. It took me a little while, Kim, to get control of myself. But I finally got under control of myself after a couple of more lawsuits. So then we developed a relationship of text. You know, he'll text me, hey, yada, yada, yada. But this is what happened, y'all. I get a text one day from Kim Wade. He said, what are you doing 8 months from now on the 15th? It's January. And I'm talking about down the road. I say, 8 months from now? I don't know, Kim. He said, well, I'm scheduled to be off the radio that day. Can you sit in for me? I said, well, yeah. So I agreed to it. So then he said, won't you see what old David L. gonna be doing? And won't you bring him with you that day? So I say, okay. So I told David, I said, man, Kim want us to sit in this January in August. Went along with it, okay. So I'm on the show, we having a good time, the phone just ringing, Cliff raising hell. Master D cussing me out on the phone. He tried to chop it up. So Kim texts my phone. He said, what in the hell is you doing? I said, what you mean, Kim? He said, man, don't you get put out that radio station. And so it gets deep now. It gets real deep because I'm on the radio and this guy called in talking about he's an Israelite and that Kim is stupid for leaving me in charge of the radio show. Kim ain't got to defend himself. The man on the station calling Kim saying, man, did you really leave David Archie and Malcolm on that show? And Cliff don't know what to do. He going to the break, and Cliff trying to play us. He taking too much time, trying to keep us off there. It was just a mess that day. And listen, out of all the people in the world, as soon as the radio show go on, here go Kingfish calling. Man, you blowing it. Y'all, you people, listen with us. Man, do you know about what the rules called, Kingfish? What's the rules on the radio called? What's the people called? The watch. FCC. Man, Kingfish sent me the FCC rule book. He said, we don't act like you people over here on our radio station. And I'm sitting there looking at the phone saying, what have I done? He said, Malcolm, you have a lot to learn, and I'm going to make sure Kim never invites you no more. And then me and Kingfish really got into it then. I said, wait a minute, Kingfish, that ain't your show. This man literally tore into me about Kim's radio show. But anyway, we're going to move forward here. So, Kim going to make a good marriage, y'all. Y'all hear what I say? Let me tell y'all why he going to make Jackson a good marriage. People say we need a police department. People say we need this and that. Jackson needs unity. They need to bring a mayor that can bring the people together. If you bring people together, what will happen when things will start to happen? You know that, Kim? You know that, right? So Kim was going to bring Democrats together, Republicans together, poor black people, rich white people, poor white people, rich black people, and everybody going to get an opportunity to be in the room. And then what will happen, the good things start happening and start rubbing up. Now let me keep going. Okay. So this is the last one here now, Kim. I had a date one night. Y'all listen to me now. And I really would like this person. I said, she the one. So we was riding, and politics had not came up in the car. So eventually, she said, Malcolm, I have a question. I said, anything for you, my dear. Do you still hang out with David L. Archie? And Kim Wade? I said, I got to be honest with you. I cut him loose. She said, good. And neither one of them no good. So I was like, wow. I said, yeah, baby, I just, David down there beating the gavel. Kim Wade on the radio telling you doing a good job. Kingfish on his website going live from the board meeting, boosting up, just making David hit it harder and harder. And man, you on Kingfish, bam, he gets to get rough up. So that night, after I told her that good lie, Kim had a sponsor named Dove's Steakhouse. Remember Dove's over on Carolina Road? Tico, y'all hear him talking about Tico, right? Well, there was another steakhouse called Dove's. And this lady and her husband, they were sweet people. And I had took so many women there until when I walked in, they would just be smiling and, oh, no. They know I could spend $150. So this night, it was a Saturday. And you know how I go. So I get down and order my tamales and order our food. And it was a Friday. And she walked over. I had just told this lady that I do not fool with David Archie. I don't have nothing for Kim Wade. I was going in another direction. So this lady walked over to the table, and she said, oh, miss, you are so beautiful. I said, isn't she beautiful? She said, yes. And she said, Malcolm, you and David Archie did a good job when they on the Kim Wade show. And the woman threw her wine on me, right? I've been really mad with Kim ever since then. But I shouldn't have lied. And I said this, I don't believe Kim Wade will lie to the people in this room, nor to the people of Jackson if he is elected. Lady called me the other day. She said, Malcolm, I see your name on the flyer with Kim Wade. I know you're not selling out like that. I said, well, what flyer? I ain't saw this flyer. She said, send it to me. I said, oh. She said, Malcolm, I can't believe it. Hurt my heart. I said, well, who are you supporting? She said, I'm supporting whoever Benny Thompson support. I said, ma'am, Donald Trump said yesterday he's going to jail. So you may be supporting Kim too.
Nicely done, nicely done. Okay, I want to introduce our next roaster. He is the host of the Full Story on WYAB. He is also a criminal defense attorney, is a producer at Regulators Productions, where they are actually just stupid enough to try and revive audio dramas. Give it up for Matthew Bishop.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me on here. And it's quite a lineup. They told us at the beginning, you got a strict 5 minutes. We got a lot of radio hosts here, and I mean, really, after 5 minutes, we just start talking about ourselves, and that's pushing it. So I'll try to keep it right at the 5 minutes. And Sean Yertron didn't show up. He was my next joke, and he just kind of failed it. But I was also not the only defense attorney. Sean Yertron was supposed to be here. And, when one defense attorney shows up, that may be a coincidence. But if you got two coming to your thing, someone's got a record. That's all I'm saying. You got two defense attorneys showing up for you. Now, I joined WYAB, or WYAB, as it's supposed to be said. I joined YAB in 2016. And I came to WYAB, I was coming from WMS, which is right out of Oxford, Mississippi. I was doing the student radio there. And I think I'm the only radio host in WYAB that actually has schooling in journalism. You learn about how to properly interview people and how to get facts and all of these things. And I come to WYAB. And when I first came, I had the hour right after Kim Wade. So I'm coming up here to get ready and trying to show me what this is my first professional radio station. I'm excited, right? This is the first professional radio station. This is the first host I get to see, right? I'm getting here. I'm so excited. I get him. He's got a producer. I'm like, this is real. And he starts opening the show, and my face is, what is he saying? I'm not just, and then this, what is going on? Did you see that? What is he? Is that something that's allowed? And then I start looking, he's like talking about like assassinating FBI agents. I'm just like, is that FBI? I'm just looking at the door at that point. Like, is someone coming? Like, we're going to get invaded? I don't know what's going on. So it was my first experience. But I also have the opportunity and the honor to produce for Kim Wade. I get to fill in for Cliff. I get to fill in for his show as well, which I'm very honored to do. And if you listen to his show on Wednesdays, he has this, he plays the song, what is it, going to church? Take Me Back, okay. I mean, I'm a white guy, so I had to Google this thing when he first came to see it. I was like, what is this song? I'm Googling hard for it, right? And so we play it, right? You lead it up, and he's like, that song's coming up, and it's it's a Christian song. And he starts out, on Wednesdays, like, you gotta get, it's Wednesday, go get your butts to church, right? He says, go get your butts to church. And talk about the importance of church, and then the next line over is, man, that Kamala, she a hoe, man. Like, jeez. Like, she take the D, brother. I'm just telling you how it is, okay? That's just how it is. But get to church, man. Get to church. I was like, okay, here we go. Going back into this. But man, I tell you, when Kim, he goes to meet the great St. Peter and the Pearly Gates, and Kim, you got a lot of years ahead of him, man. You got so many years ahead of him, but we all meet him eventually. And if you get to Peter, and Peter's going to say, hey, I got a place for you, okay, a perfect place for you. Now, if you're familiar with Dante's Rings of Hell, right, it's a poem that Dante wrote, this Italian poet. And as you get deeper into hell, right, the words, that it gets worse and worse. And they're going to put Kim. Kim's going to be in the 9th ring of hell for Democrats, right? It's going to go Laura Ingraham, and Ann Coulter, and then Kim Wade. And Ann Coulter, they're like, what? How do we get put with this guy? It means we made complete sentences? How do we get put with him? They're going to be very upset, very upset. But of course, we need someone like Kim as mayor. We really, really do. Someone to spice things up. And there's different types of spice, right? You have a spice that tastes good. It's a nice, nice spice that adds a little heat. That's not the spice that Kim is. See, Kim's that spice that it burns on the way in, but it really burns on the way out. You know, you feel on the way out. You got the pucker face, you're running around. It's like, oh man, it's good. That's Kim. He's that spice that come up. You got that pucker face. Which that's the exact same pucker face I had when I first saw Kim. Right, it's the exact same one. That's how I knew. But in all seriousness, we need to bring the fire to Jackson, Mississippi. And it's Kim Wade that's going to provide that spark to get it. That spark of fire. Sometimes it's going to have to be, yes, clap that. He needs to be that fire, right? Now, sometimes it needs to be a physical fire, but metaphorically as well, to bring that spark. And I'm so excited to see what they're going to provide for the city of Jackson. And I'm so excited to see that the future that you're going to have for it is no one really, really needs that turnaround. The only man that can do it is you, Mr. Wade. So thank you again for having me here.
All right, thank you, sir. Now, when I got these from Miss Sheila Spann, I read this next one, and I'm like, I gotta meet this fellow. Where is he? So y'all bear with me while I read this one, okay? Jerry Ricardo, a.k.a. Richard Thomas. Grew up in Jackson. He escaped 20 years ago, but visits from time to time for that monthly parole meeting. He's looking forward Jacktown being set up on the right path by Kim Wade as the mayor, so that maybe he can come back and visit long enough to see the progress that he makes. He is a GED-toting conservative, gun-toting conservative and GED. He's a former conspiracy theory member, but not anymore. The membership is now with the CAUDT, which is correct about every damn thing we said. Got the radio monitor because I was a Richard to the Paul on Super Talk for years and all that BS he spewed. I think I may have been the reason that they went to text only and not calls. Found Kim on the air when he was on the AM dial and still used the Richard name. He creatively changed it to Ricardo. That gave me the freedom, much like Elizabeth Warren, to claim special status on all my applications. Thanks, Kim, or rather, gracias, Senor Kim. Kim was and is a breath of fresh air, much like me finding Rush Limbaugh in the 90s in Mississippi Delta during the Clinton regime. I knew I was not alone when finding Kim on the air when I moved back to Jackson. I love cats, you know, the one Chris uses in special sauce on pies from Tom's and Rich from Complete Exteriors. Ad placement is very important. Just an average Joe, the plumber type, listening and praying for some of the strong man's hope, faith, kindness, and resolve to rub off not only on me, but on the rest of the world. Help me welcome Ricardo.
Y'all, this is I'm the only thing standing between y'all and home. So I'm gonna try to be brief. Well, as brief as I can be. Y'all heard me speak before. I got 5 pages. But to not all for you. First off, I do want to thank the people at the venue that provided this for us.
We want to thank Leon Jones there.
Leon, thank you. Are you back there? Awesome place. It's absolutely beautiful, and most of all, it's free. So thank you so much for that. Look, I heard Clay and Sean on the radio, and Sean was like kind of not wanting to come out to Rankin County at this thing, so I wish it was in Jackson. And I was kind of wondering why he wanted to be in Jackson. I said, man, it's a beautiful place. It's a short drive. And then I realized, oh wait, none of y'all are going to need his services as a lawyer anytime soon, so he can't be handing out cards to y'all. And then I heard Malcolm and DL were here, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, he still has some clients here he can have. So, especially when you admit to tipping it before you came to Rankin County. You got a card there? Look, and, you know, thanking that, I always want to say, you know, thank you to Cliff. I heard you were going to be MC, and I didn't know Beth was here. Look, y'all heard Cliff admit, or not admit, decline or deny that he drinks a lot. Kim talks to him about him on the air a lot about, you know, hitting the bottle and having a problem with alcohol. So, you know.
It's not a problem. It's a problem when he can't get it.
Well, unbeknownst to you, I went up there one day, and I was going to try and, you know, minister to him. and ask him, look, do you have a problem drinking? He said, man, I have no problem at all. I'm pretty good at it. He said, actually, I'm so good, I've got a second job with the government. And I was like, God, what is it? Man, it's a secret. But look, if y'all saw him out in the parking lot earlier, he was taking down tag numbers. There's a guy named, Chris Ray Epstein that sometimes fills in for y'all, as a Fed, so he sells them to him. But look, I don't want to pick on Chris because it's a sad day for him. He's not here. You know why?
Why is that?
His mentor resigned the other day, Christopher Ray. Christopher Ray. And I know he's sad about that because now Christopher Ray is probably going to be, instead of taking and paying for tag numbers of Catholics at church, PTA meetings, school board meetings, and Kim Wade events, to making tags. Hopefully that's what's going to happen with him soon. That's what we're looking forward to. So he's not here. We always want to say hello and thank our politicians. Do we have any politicians? I know David L. was former county supervisor. Anyone else in the audience tonight?
The corner back there.
The corner. Thank y'all so much. Look, there's so many things that politicians do for us to make our lives better, protect us, pass taxes, several other things. But over in Rankin County, there's one I was thinking is a friend of Clay's might be here. They passed a bill that we didn't even know we needed to be protected from. It was for the squatty trucks, having the bottom so low. And I was thinking, man, they got this thing passed with 100% support, 100% of the votes. And I was asking, how can this happen? Well, it's a key thing for this. You got to have the bill, put it up at the right time, and have the right name for it. So I had to write this down because I found out how they got that passed. They did it the morning after. There was an all-night work session, working so hard at CHAR. All the politicians were there and having, just working really hard, And then the next day, the gentleman put up the bill, and it was for, I got to read it here. It's for stop low undercarriage riding the paths or roads, or SLURP for short. They thought they were voting for another pay raise for themselves or their retirement. So it passed through 100%. Look, David L., I can't just pick on one politician, but I got to be careful with you. I understand. Because, we used to at the fair have a, yeah, I know, Clay, I might just skip this one. He wore a coat for a reason. He packed it. Anyway, they were talking about watching, roasts and stuff, so I was watching Sanford and Sons, but it reminded me because I remember there used to be a clown at the fair at the Duncan booth. Guy would say, hey, high and dry, pick on people and stuff. Well, David L. was there, and he walked by, and the guy called him and said, hey, are you Aunt Esther? And he said, no, man, why you call me that? Because you could make the mold for the gorilla cookies. So you hadn't seen that clown around anymore, so I got to be careful with that. I don't want to be that clown. Look, local host at our show, we got Clay Edwards, we got Chip, and we got Cliff, and everybody. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful lineup. I was mentioning that earlier, and it's just from top to bottom all the way through. But have y'all remember Al Franken, the former senator that was a comedian? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you remember on Saturday Night Live, he used to have something with Stuart Smalley? Yeah, it was like, some guy, some squirrely little guy with, frizzy hair, and he'd hold up a mirror and say, I am somebody. I'm loved by everybody, and doggone it, I'm good enough. Well, this morning I'm listening to Clay Edwards, and I don't really call that much. I text and bug him a lot. And I could have swore it's Stuart Smalley. Because, Clay gets on there this morning and says, hold on a second. I got to find it here because I wrote it down, I wrote it down for you, Clay. Your episode, you said, I went from undesirable to undeniable. So did you hold a mirror up while you did that this morning?
Nobody loves the mirror more than I do. I like the camera. I'm just saying, if you like yourself as much as I do.
No, man, I love it.
Be making videos.
I was picking on you, but I was thinking, hey, Stuart Smiley. He's on there. Well, look, I do want to applaud you for helping out people like, you know, Sean, having him on your show and as your sidekick. Sean is an attorney and goes on a lot with him, but he has a new law practice now. So he's out, you know, working hard, trying to get business up and everything. I wish Sean had gone with the moniker, though, Better Call Sean, like Saul in Breaking Bad. He just doesn't get it. But one thing he did get is a method of payment. He took it from Saul, I bet you, on Breaking Bad. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, cash from bras, cash from brassieres, whatever you can take out. And I bring that up because I stopped at a store in Morton one time, and there was a store that said, no cash accepted if you pull it from your bra or your underwear. And it doesn't matter to Sean. It stands, he takes it, which is nothing wrong with that. So, hey, look, I want to thank y'all and Kim. I don't really have a lot to roast you about. You know, friend's been a dear friend to everybody around here. I just wanted to pick on all your friends that were here, just mostly. Sorry, kids, I don't know you, so I'm going to cut you some slack, just a little bit anyway. Kingfish, when you scratched your name off, I thought that was interesting. You like me, I should have wore a bag, you know, where my head with just eyes cut out, because y'all are filming it. By the way, you might get another lawsuit since it's being filmed. You better be careful. You better be careful. They ain't gonna be you. They gonna be posing that right there. But Kim's a good man. But if you don't believe it, just ask him. He's beautiful. He's brilliant, and everything else. You know, some say he's a dreamer, and I just think he's delusional because he wants to be mayor of Jackson. But hey, I do love visiting during the daylight hours. I'm not as bold as Clay saying I would move back to Jackson if he's elected mayor. I will stay more than the 2 hours required to meet my parole officer. But you mentioned David L. Mini Pies. I think there's an entrepreneurial way we can make some money with Kim and Beth. Can you make cookies? Bean pie cookies. We're going to sell those. We're going to go off on that. But we want to thank everybody so much. I'm going to let them close it out. And I hope y'all enjoyed tonight. But, you know, the big thing like this, come to church, offering plate, donate the man some money on your time if you can. We do need Jackson, even though I don't live there anymore. I mean, I live in God's country close to Pocahontas. So I live out close to Florida, so we're a good place out there. But all of the state relies on Jackson. We need him to be elected mayor. So I'm going to hand this back over to whoever. Who am I supposed to hand this to?
Yes, I think she's up to you.
Such an excellent job. Thank all my roasters for being here tonight to roast Mr. Wade. And at this time, Mr. Wade has a chance to do every vote.
9 minutes. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting this effort. This campaign for mayor is serious. I intend to win. I'm the guy to beat. I'm not the best man for the job, but I am the right man for Jackson. Amen. So I just want to thank you for coming out. I want to especially thank Mr. Brother Leon Jones for allowing us to use it. If you have need of an event hall, as you can see, this is a very nice facility, and you can always get with him. He has the daycares up and down here, and very successful daycares, I might add. And we just want to encourage people to support. But you being here today, this is what I'm talking about. This is one of the reasons why I'm running for the city of Jackson mayor. And I'm not running to be mayor. I'm running to fix Jackson. When I say fix, Kim said, people look at my business. I mean, my little flyer. Your resume a little thin, bro. But you know what Jackson needs? They've had all the people with the backgrounds and degrees and resumes, etc. But they lack character. They lack integrity. And it makes a difference, as we can see. I'm not trying to hi-hat and say I can do all this, but I want you to look at the facility here, how it's set up. This is my campaign staff, which I like to give a congratulations to. That's my daughter sneaking out. I don't know what she's doing. How this was put together, I presented the idea to them, and they just took it and ran with it. And that's what I'm talking about. The people that we're going to be hiring for the city of Jackson, they're going to be the smartest people working on our problems to its completion. I don't care if they have an eye in the middle of their forehead and what color they are, that's irrelevant. Their accolades will be based on the success And if you want to add as a byline, and oh, by the way, they were female, oh, by the way, they were this, that, the other, that's fine. But we want them to be winners, because Jackson needs winners. And we need men. We need men and women of courage. So I'm not trying to hi-hat and say that I'm going to do all this and or I'm all that and I'm a veteran. No, I'm not. But there are certain things that I will not do. And one of them is steal. So I'm telling anybody who will listen. I'm telling anybody who will listen, as mayor, you just assume when you come to me that I'm wearing a wire. So you come to me with something that, because you don't have to do that. There's too much work to be done. Well, you don't have to do that. We can make a handsome profit helping fix the problems of Jackson. So you don't need to be anybody special. That's one of the things about it. You don't have to be my friend. You even have voted against me. Because my goal was to get the currency flowing in Jackson. Because you know what? When everybody's got their own money, they ain't got time to argue, fight. They can say, I ain't got time for this. I'm done with it. They go somewhere else. So we're going to help put people in a position where they can make their own money. I'm telling you now, I'm not running to save the poor. I'm not running to hurt the rich. I'm running to make Jackson work. I'm not running to be the mayor of Jackson. I'm running to make Jackson work. So again, we have an opportunity here with President Trump assuming the presidency to catch that wave. And what you have in this room here are doers. These are people who believe. These are small businessmen and women who make this country work. And we're going to make Jackson work with the small businessmen and women. I want to be heavily emphasizing that the resources of Jackson are going to go towards those individuals who make Jackson work. Socrates, 8 businesses employed. A lot of people eat because of this man here and the businesses that he runs, and you out here with your businesses. Set aside. Set aside. Regardless of the money green, that's the main thing. The money's green, and he's out the roof. He's not going to have any problems. There's several candidates in the race. I may not be his candidate, but if I were to come to mayor, he's not going to have any problems. He'll come down his paperwork in order. I'm stamping off. Why do I want that? I want the currency to flow. I want everybody to eat. I want you to be able to leave your garage door up because the guy next door's got the same thing in his garage you got in yours. He ain't got to steal your lawnmower. So we're going about it a different way. And just to give you a short snippet of where I'm going with the administration. The first 4 years will be base hits and bunts. Might be a home run in there, but it won't be where I'm trying to knock it out of the bleachers. But we're going to be working as a team. I have a friend who's going to be a real good headhunter. We're going to get the best people for these departments. I don't care what color. She's in a high position in state government right now. And she caught a lot of criticism in her early career. She came out of the private sector. She got a lot of flack for hiring people who were smarter than her, and she was advised, don't do that. These people take your job. She said, I don't need them to take my job. If they do their job, I'm going to get another job anyway because the job won't get done. A lot of simple things. We'll give you one other example. Socrates come down to the city, needs a permit. I'm going to say, Socrates, waiving that permit. What? No. So I could charge them $100 permit fee. But if I waive it and say, Sock, here's the criteria for you to get this waiver of this fee. I need you to clean up your property in 20 feet on either side of your property. And then if every property owner, every homeowner, every business owner has that same criteria, everything's going to get cleaned up. With a clean environment, property values rise. We'll make more money off the property tax increase than we would have made off that fee. It's little things like that that we can do that have not been done, but we're going to do it because we're going in a different direction. I promise you, Jackson is going to bounce back. Jackson's going to be strong. We're going to be the first city in the nation that's predominantly black, that's going to operate in the black, and people are going to be able to come down here and say, man, we got a good time in Jackson. Just think about it. When you go on vacation, what do? You're going on vacation to go somewhere where it's nice. You're going somewhere where you feel safe, somewhere where you can do things. Jackson, Mississippi is going to be that place where people come to for vacation. We're going to go to a metro government. Why a metro government? You get on white folks and control the government? No. Don't come to me with that conversation. You had control of the government. You dropped the ball, and now you put the city of Jackson in a position of being taken over. You're not going to have that problem under Kim Wade. We're going to handle our business. We're going to do business. We're going to make people want to come invest in Jackson, but it's not going to be overnight. So what we have to do is stabilize the systems of Jackson, and we're going to do it with the help of people like you. What you did here this evening is going to give me what I need to go into January in a big way. In February, at the Salvation Army building, what is that, Tracy?
We're going to have the Alpha Generation Youth Program Entrepreneur Expo.
Right. And what date is that?
It's February the 8th on the
Okay,
Saturday.
that's going to be at the Salvation Army building on Beasley Road. We're going to grow the citizen that we want. We're going to take our young people. Sock, I need your help on this one too, and everybody on the panel. If you have a young person who's an entrepreneur, got their little hustle on, I don't care if it's lemonade, cookies, or whatever. They're selling candles, beads, earrings, or whatever. We want them to come up and set up a booth there at the Salvation Army on the 8th. And we want all the adults to come out and support them. We want them to buy out everything they have. And then I want you business owners to come down and look at these young folks. I want you to look for that child with that spark in their eye. And I want you to tell that 16, 17-year-old, when you turn 18 or when you become old enough, I want you to come apply for a job at Sock Creek Area Enterprise. Do you know what that'll do for that child for the next 2 years in their schooling? They feel like they're going somewhere. We got to lift the gaze of Jacksonians. We got to lift the gaze of Mississippians, and we can do it. The only reason why we haven't is because nobody ever talked to you like this. We're going to do it here. So I'm just telling you, I want to thank you for coming out this evening. As I was driving over, I said, well, I don't know if anybody's going to show up, and then I'm thinking, if they roast me real good, I will be hoping nobody shows up. But they did good, and I want to thank everybody who showed up. Kingfish, Clay, David L., Sock, Malcolm, Matt, and Ricardo. I see so many of my friends, so many folks who go, but I got some people in this room I'm talking about when I was low, when I was at my lowest point. Dr. Span being one of them, my daughter being one of them, and so many others, Angela. I'm talking about God has showed me. Ann Pruitt, do you know the story between me and Ann? All this stuff that's going on in the real estate industry right now, all the lawsuits, do you know it started between me and Ann? It literally started between this legal dispute that her and I had. And as a result, the whole real estate industry is changing. I'm saying all that to tell you this here, that's the story of redemption, because I didn't know she was going to get that dinner. And when the lady one of her agents was sitting next to me, she said, well, Ann's coming. I asked her who she worked for. She said, Ann Pruitt. And she said, she's on her way. I said, So Ann came and sat down. But you know what? That had that lawsuit, I had 5 lawsuits come out of that lasted for 11 years. I was pro se attorney with the help of my friend who's since passed on. We whooped him down. We lost on a technicality. But the law firm that was prosecuting me, he lost his contract for 30 years. The lawyer lost his job for losing the contract. She went through a whole lot of stuff that I did too. Took a lot on. So being able to bear the hatchet, the redemption story of forgiveness, us taking those pictures together, it did a lot for me. I had 5, I'm talking about the garbage cans as tall as this podium, 5 of those full of legal papers. That when I was seeing those, it would just upset me. So I'm just saying, I've seen God work in my life. When I was lying there at Baptist Hospital, and they were flipping coins over me, didn't know. This man right here, Alvin Smith, we all know him as Bernard on the radio, he's the only one. Came up there and prayed for me. Came to the front door of the hospital. This is at the height of COVID. Came in there with no mask on. Him and brother Ballard came from the front door of the hospital, came all the way to the 2nd floor, came in my room, closed the door, prayed on me, laid hands on me, oiled me up, and I walked out of there alive. And so he renewed my spirit. And to Kim, I've been talking all this game on the radio for 35 years. I talked about Sock, I talked about Ann, I talked about everybody. By name. Whole name. I didn't know your name was Reed. I didn't call you that from me. But the point is that God is good, and we all have a role to play in the restoration of our country. Donald Trump has launched the beachhead in Washington, D.C. Now it's up to us to carry it on here in Jackson, Mississippi. We're going to be successful. Not because, look, I like my lifestyle. I like going to CrossFit, the white folks gym, that's who is this? CrossFit and working out, doing those type of things like that. I like my lifestyle. But I can't have talked all that yang down through the years, and then when I have an opportunity to serve, I shrink from that. But no, I don't want the mayor's job. No, I don't. I mean, I really don't want to be in politics. But I see where we can make a difference, and we're going to make a difference. We're going to break stuff up at the door. I don't mean maybe or perhaps we're going to break it up, but I need your help. I need the help of everyone in here. Speak to your friends. If there's anybody in here from Jackson, we have a petition back there for it. I'm going to need signatures in order to qualify for mayor. So if you're from Jackson, sign that petition back there, and we would appreciate that. Again, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my producer, Cliff. Folks, believe it or not, I did not know he had a drinking problem until he came in there sober one morning. I mean, he was talking normal. Dude, you okay? And he was shaking everything. But I suspected something because when I first started working there, it's like he would just fall on my neck, and then I realized he smelled alcohol in my cologne. I said, dude. And then, I don't have a problem so much, but folks, you got to come here and see when our show's going on. He's got cauldrons of stuff just bubbling over there. He's got bowls and jars. And all of his glasses are covered up. I mean, they don't, you can't see through them, And by the end of the show, he's staggering around there. I thought he was line dancing. I didn't know. He was just trying to go to the bathroom. Our station is really a unique station. Matt Russellowski, I was hoping to be here this evening. We're independent, we operate in the black. We don't have any debt that we can't handle. Anytime we make some debt, it's going to be paid off. We're getting ready to boost our power to 50,000 watts. So we should be able to get up to Carthage, Forest, Brookhaven, all over to Mississippi Delta, etc. So God continues to bless. We're going to be boosting our power up probably in February, just in time for the election. I just see the Lord opening doors in so many areas for this campaign. So we're going to be successful. We're not going to do things the traditional way, but we are going to do some things that are going to make heads turn and eyes perk up. But again, I want to thank everybody for allowing me to do this function. We're going to do one next year. I don't know who's going to get roasted next year, but it won't be me. I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't. I brought that bag and put it over my head in case it got too bad. Sean Yerkerton was the one who was, Sean doesn't have any filters. Sean, and then I figured you can come in here drunk too, so but he didn't make it this evening. But I do want to thank you for coming, each and every one of them. I want to recognize my daughter, Kiana. She made it in. Tina didn't make it, but Kiana's here. Thank you so much, baby. Each and every one. I see so many of my friends. If I start calling folks out and I miss them, then, but trust me, I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you. And you know what? I appreciate the fact that you realize that in order to make this thing work, we've got to extend everybody a little bit more grace. And that's in the city of Jackson. Mayor Chokwe, actually, to be honest with you, from a tactical campaign standpoint, I would actually vote for Chokwe because he's the easiest one to beat. But you do what you want to do. I'm going to run. I'm going to stand where the Lord tells me to stand. So far, I just can't believe how the Lord has just continued to open up the doors. But also, I want to take a special moment. Sitting at this table right here is my friend of over 30-something years, Dr. K.R. Rao and his lovely wife, in the room. Down through the years, he's been on the program more than any other guest down through the years. And I just love him and his family. They've been so good to me. This is his lovely daughter here. And there's just so many people, black, white, and sky blue, green. That's why I'm saying, I'm telling the citizens of Jackson, we're not doing race, we're going to do results. There you go. So if you upset about race, I understand it. That's for you. auction to do. Tracy, hold up the sign there, strap down and jack down. Okay, well, no, I just wanted to show, get through that. That was done by Mr. Chuck Jett over at the flea market there in Pearl. So if you want one of those, if you don't win this tonight, you can go over there and he will make one for you. He doesn't have one already ready. But I just want to again thank every one of you for doing what you did today. And I survived this, and I thought I was going to need counseling for tomorrow.
Bring it up.